Alright, so today I'm going to be exploring the compressor code that I've just downloaded here. If we go back, find it here. Only a $40 plugin, which is pretty darn good. But this claims that it will help you learn compression just through the plugin. So let me just, it's finished installing, so let me just open Logic here, and I'll look at this. So one of the main things you'll often have a compressor on is the drum sets. Let me just find... Perfect. This should work. Something I think I'll do is compare this against the normal, just default Logic Pro compressor, which is this guy right here. There's various different modes, but let's see what the compressor code looks like. So this is the compressor code, and already this certainly looks different, but not too different. So you see we have input gain, makeup gain, which is normally here. But then these will tell you what they correspond to. So you can see threshold, threshold, ratio, ratio, attack, release. Don't see knee, but you don't necessarily need that. And then all of these guys. But yeah, let's see, what does this sound like out of the box? Not bad. Let's actually start compressing it. As you can see, it does show you what is being done to the actual audio form. See, if I were to go to this guy, all I have is this. It just shows me that, oh, it's doing things, or I can go to the graph and it will do the same thing, where it shows me the volume, but doesn't show me the actual waveform. So that is nice. I think so far these sound about the same. The attack is the fun part, so if I want to just chop it off, I can put very slow attack, but to really get that punch, you open it up. Yeah, and if I increase the ratio, you can see this part gets much smaller. The release tails it. See, without release, with release. Now I'm curious, smack and energy, what do these knobs do? Okay, so that seems to kinda... both seem to increase the gain in some way or another. I am curious what this OTT is. If I open up the manual here. Always helpful to look through your manuals, guys, trust me. See if I can find TT. Huh. Oh, okay, so these are transient parameters. So what do the OTT parameters over the top compression module for extreme and creative compression, great for intense dynamic affecting character. Okay, yes, so this is just the mix. If I go over here, you can do the same thing on this guy. Currently it's at 100% output, but I can also put it completely to the input where it just outputs the input volume with nothing changed. This just interpolates between what this does and what it's given. So this does the same thing. The sharpness, edge, or bite. Really, the intensity controls the intensity. And then output. So the smack increases the initial attack. Energy modifies the sustained portion. Okay. So that seems pretty self-explanatory. So now what if I bring in a different loop? Okay. Charge convert to stereo, that's fine. Now this should be, yes, stereo compressor. Oh, already that sounds so good. Listen before and after. This is just a compressor, I'm not even adding anything. This is actually insane. Now the other thing I'm curious if I can do is side chaining. I don't currently see anything to do with that. Let me open up the manual again, search for side chaining. Doesn't seem like I could. So side chaining, for those who are unaware, if I duplicate this, if I just go into here and I find like some pad. Oh, let me clear the filters. That didn't sound bad. Hang on, let me. Side chaining. if I take like the normal logic compressor, you can see this little thing up here. It says sidechain, and I can tell it, oh hey, listen to this, and when this is high, bring this down. So if normally this is done with, sometimes you'll have a ghost kick. So if I go back to this guy, and I add a new audio track, put it in here, do that, and then I can just mute this, put this into here, then you can really hear it. So if you were to look at this guy, it would be like, on all of the hits, there'd be just like a little down part. If you look at the graph, you can also see what it's doing. You get this kind of hit. So this is a very common thing in a lot of music. Let me go with, you can do a lot of stuff with this, but this is also very much not as easy to understand as this guy is. So if there ever is like an update to this, I would highly recommend having some sort of sidechain added to it, because that's another thing that isn't the easiest thing to understand with all of this. Curious if I put this guy back on. I'm still just blown away by this drum set. It sounds so much better with this compressor. Like, listen, before, after. Like, listen how snappy that is. Like, let me see, if I go back here and I add the normal compressor, I don't think I can get that same thing. Oh, that's why it's auto-gaining. The first step of compression in Logic Pro, always turn this off. Okay, this one's pretty similar. Yeah, I think the main difference between these two is this little bit down here with the smack and energy. If I turn these down... Oh, never mind. Let me just have these to default. But especially these guys, these OTT, I don't think this compressor has that. I could be completely wrong, but that adds so much. I will definitely be using this compressor a lot. It's so much easier to make things sound good when you can see it. Like that's why I liked the EQ in these guys, because I can see the waveform and I can see what this does. But like, if I'm on a board or whatever, most of the time this doesn't exist, and you have to play a lot more by ear. You don't have the ability to make this sound quite as good. Well, you have the same ability, it's just much harder to make it sound as good when you can't see what's actually being done. But yeah, if this ends up being like a series of plugins, that would be amazing. Because so many of these, like let me just open up. These are all the default Logic Pro things. It's like these are pretty self-explanatory, especially if you have a guitar and pedals. And like these also make sense intuitively. Like, oh, it just delays it. But like distortion, I would love like a distortion plugin that would do like show what's happening to the waveform, because this doesn't, like, I can hear it's distorting it, but I don't know what these really do other than just by doing it by ear. Or yeah, so the compressor, limiter, de-esser is pretty self-explanatory. It just removes this of S's and such. Like all of these, most of these I have no idea what they do. And then filter, these are yeah, a lot of these would be. I would love to have a plugin that would tell me what is actually going on. I'm impressed with this plugin. If you have $40 lying around, perhaps you get some money for Christmas, or if you know a producer or whatever and they're looking for a good compressor or an easy to understand compressor, I would highly recommend this plugin. Again, it is called the Compressor Code, so I'll leave a link in the description. Until next time, see ya.